If you find the PLC in a state where the FR light is blinking and the ready light is blinking, that's generally considered the out-of-box state. That can exist after you've assigned an IP address, but it usually means you need to assign an IP address. So you're going to want to go to the touch screen and click Controller Settings, an IP Assign, and then assign the IP. And this is how you run the IP Assign tool. You'll press IP Assign. It's going to load an out-of-box tool, and it's going to start searching for a PLC that does not have an IP address. When it finds a PLC, then it's going to show up on the left-hand side in the white text. As you can see, there's not one there right now. After 30 seconds, it's going to prompt you to power cycle the PLC so that it can get it to show up. If you power cycle the PLC, then it'll show up. As you can see, the MAC address for the PLC showed up here. We're going to select it. Since we're doing Air System 1, 192.168.1.106, which is in there by default, is correct. On the screen, just go ahead and press OK. And it's going to attempt to assign the IP address. If you don't assign it right away in the first so many seconds, it's going to prompt you to restart the PLC. Just pay attention. At the very bottom of the IP Assign tool is directions. There's small words with dots here. They change and update as it's scanning and checking. And once you're done assigning and you get your checkbox, then you can go ahead and just hit the X box to close out. And then you need to power cycle your PLC. So at the very beginning, you're going to click Controller Settings. And then if you need to do an IP Assign, you'd click IP Assign tool. After doing the IP Assign and assigning the IP to the PLC, then you can proceed to update the PLC. And it's going to run through the steps of updating the PLC as normal. Note that because there was not a program on it and both lights were flashing, you're going to need to power cycle when it tells you to. As you can see, manual restart is required. Pushing the E-stop button does not power cycle the PLC. You actually have to drop power to the PLC either by dropping the wiring arm or by cycling power to the entire system or tripping one of the breakers that drops the 110 volt signal. After power cycling the PLC correctly, press Next, and it's going to test and see if the program took. As you can see, the PLC is updated successfully. Click back. We now have a proper version on the PLC. We can click back and it now appears on the screen. One side note, if you clicked Next too quickly after power cycling the PLC the first time, you can get a fail and it may still have succeeded if you were just too quick in doing that, because the PLC, until the program has actually gotten up and running, takes a lot longer time to boot up the first time. And so if you were too quick in hitting Next after manually restarting the PLC, you may see a fail and it may still have succeeded. If a program shows up and the version shows up, even if it told you it failed, you succeeded and you can proceed and function just fine. You don't need to re-update the PLC.